Ah yes, wine, something both us artists and alcoholics have in common. We can't work with it, and we can't work without it. Well, actually, can I work with it? I'm going to find out in this video. So sit down, pull up, get your glass of wine ready, and start to put down your wash because we're going to paint with, oh lord, I put my paintbrush in my glass of wine. That's right, folks, we're painting with wine. In case you are wondering, the two wines I'm going to be using in this video are Jackson Triggs Cabernet Sauvignon and Kasey Elephant Island Fortified Wine Black Currant Bomb, both of which are local to British Columbia here in Canada. So just like any other painting with video, I need to swatch my materials and see how they work, see what they look like, because I've never painted with wine before. I don't know what to expect. All I know is that there is red wine and white wine, and red wine was the more obvious choice because white was just going to be like painting with water. I wanted to get two different kinds of wine, one a more normal wine and one a black currant, in hopes of getting two different colors, and to my surprise, I did get two different colors. Not only did the wine dry a lot darker than it looks at first, but it also changed colors similar to my tea drawing. But these colors were not dark enough to get a line art, so I had to reduce the wine, which meant boiling it. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never boiled wine before. I'm not really much of a foodie, so I don't know how to cook these sort of things. All I know is that if you boil something long enough, you will eventually get rid of the water content and you'll be left with all of those thick, colorful other things. What I didn't think about is how much fruit content is in wine, so what I was left with was this really sticky, syrupy, goopy stuff. It was still liquidy enough that I could use. It was perfect, but I did not realize that this was basically going to be like coloring with fruit juice or melted candy because this stuff is sticky. So the black currant is the first wine I reduced, and like I said, didn't know what I was doing, so it was sort of a trial and error. I put too much in there, which meant boiling it for much longer, but I think in general that wine didn't reduce as well as the Jackson Triggs, what I call regular wine. That one definitely boiled down to a darker, thicker color, and to my surprise, it was very thick and very dark and perfect for line art, so I was getting excited. So as you know, with every painting with drawing that I do, I always have a character consuming what it is I'm painting with, be it coffee, tea, wine. So obviously, I wanted to draw a character that is consuming the wine, and because wine I think is meant of more of a fancy drink, whereas like tea is more of like a chill out drink, and coffee is like I'm getting a buzz and I have lots of energy drink. I thought, obviously with wine, maybe we should create a character who is very fancy and has lots of class. I was thinking about going with a character that's super drunk and just being silly, but I think maybe someone who has class would be fun. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Usually, I don't know, maybe if you're drinking wine, you're relaxing at home, it's Friday night. I think maybe like the beer and stuff is for the party goers, but maybe wine is for people who just want to stay home and have like a date night with themselves. Maybe fancy was the wrong word. Maybe I was really going for like sophisticated. More sophisticated people usually hear drinking wine, whereas like, I don't know, kids are drinking beer and stuff like that. You could do like an old man or something. He might be kind of cute. I don't know, I kind of actually want him to be standing upwards because that way we can more exaggerate the fact that he's drunk and maybe he's walking. Or I normally draw these people floating, so he could be floating in a way that is, he could be walking but floating, I guess. I'm sitting here sketching and all I can smell is the wine off screen over there, and it's kind of disgusting, but that's cool, I guess. Okay, yeah, I think I really like this pose, so I don't know if I can resist making it into a girl character. I know I'm the worst. I know I should make it a male character, because I never draw male characters, but I Females are just so much more flowy and fun to draw, what can I say? Ooh, what if she just was in her underwear? I mean, you know when you're at home, you're alone, things get a little crazy. Now I'll put her in a dress or something. I think I'm going to give her a little more scandalous clothes, but I think that's what I'm going with. Here we go, let's get to drawing. So remember about 5 seconds ago when I said I was going to make this fancy or sophisticated old man, and I'm not drawing that now? Well, during the sketching process, I was going over ideas like either someone sophisticated or someone maybe at home, you know, chilling out with the girls, getting over a breakup. So that's actually what I ended up going with. Plus, I mean, I can't resist drawing a girl in her underwear. Let's be honest, I'm not even going to apologize. So yeah, that is what I ended up going with, a girl half naked because she's drinking alcohol and she's being silly. I was trying to go the sophisticated route because, I don't know, wine is more on the fancy side, right? But no, I couldn't resist, so here we are with another half naked girl. So I also mentioned in these painting with videos, I usually have the character floating and consuming the drink or whatever it may be, and kind of, I guess, getting powers or whatever from the substance. But because alcohol is kind of a special case, I think because alcohol makes you just act so loopy, and sometimes it can even hinder your performance with certain things like walking or everything else. It impairs you physically, I guess, is what I meant. So I figured this character is half floating. She is coming down from her float. She was at full float when she was all drunk and happy, and now she is coming down from her buzz and she is coming back to reality. She's sobering up and coming back to the real world. So she's got one foot planted on the ground and the other foot is still floating as she descends. Is it a far-fetched idea? I don't know. Whatever. I still think she's cute. So when it came to the actually painting with wine part, this was probably the easiest so far. I think before this, the blood was actually the easiest, but the blood was a little on the chunky side and it kind of worked like really bad watercolors. It was hard to get a smooth, flat surface. But with wine, it's already so watery, it's nice and smooth. Even the wine that I reduced was still just this really thick but easily spreadable substance. So overall, I was really impressed with how easy it was to work with wine as a paint. The only downfall is that it is pretty sugary and there are parts that are just so sticky. I'm definitely going to have to go through and spray this with a fixative to make sure that those sticky stuffs and everything stay on the page and don't, you know, get all over everything else. But other than that, I was so surprised at how painting with the actual wine was. I mean, it's not the easiest to get a gradient with, but it's also a drink. It's not meant to be painted with, right? I was also really surprised at the two different colors I was able to get with the two different wines. When I was wine shopping, I walked into the liquor store and I just went right up to someone and was like, hey, weird question, but I'm going to be painting with wine. Do you have any recommendations for a really rich, pigmented wine? I wasn't sure if that was something someone could even tell me about because looking at a drink is so much more different than seeing how it is like on paper. But they were surprisingly helpful and knew exactly what to point me towards and got me these two wonderful colors. The quote-unquote normal wine is that purple color. It goes down really pink at first. As you can see when I'm coloring, it changes color as it dries. It's so cool. It really reminds me of when I painted with tea. So I got this really nice, deep, rich purple color from the Jackson Triggs, and the Elephant Island wine actually gave this really nice pink color, which is strange because it came from something called a black currant. I got this really nice pink red color from that, which really enjoyed. My cats are fighting in the background. Come on, y'all. So I think my biggest mistake with working with the wine as a paint was if I wanted to get a really dark color, I just kind of put down a really thick layer, which is not great because of how sugary the contents of the wine is. I think it would have been easier if I did layer multiple layers. It doesn't seem like it makes a difference because it's, I think, pretty much the same thing. But the areas where I wanted to get a dark color, I just put a lot down, and then it was really hard to put the line art on later because that thick sugary blob was just kind of soaking up anything that touched it. So that was a little unfortunate, but overall, for something that I painted with wine, it was really fun. It was really interesting. For the splatters and the circle around her, I actually mixed the two wines together to get this really nice magenta purple pink color. It's so pretty. It's dark and earthy, and I absolutely love it. As stupid as it sounds, I almost wish I got some white wine just to see if I could get a yellow color. Could be something I do in the future. Let me know in the comments. Do you want to see me try to paint with white wine? I don't know how well that would go, but you never know until you try. And because I know I'm going to get all of the comments, yes, she has hairy legs. Women have hairy legs. Who'da thunk it? Get over it. Look, she's going through a breakup. It's a very hard time in her life. She has given up on trying to impress anybody, and she has hairy legs now, okay? She's drunk, she's humiliated. Don't make fun of her hairy legs. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. I had so much fun painting with wine. Let me know in the comments, do you have another substance you would like to see me paint with? I might just do it. All right, see ya in the next video. And now a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons for all of their support. You guys are the best. If you want to be in the credits at the end of my videos, see secret sketches, coloring pages, early access, and more, check out my Patreon by clicking a link in the description. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Bye! Hey y'all, like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your fellow wino, am I right? Alcohol doesn't pay for itself.